On this episode of Designing Minds, we feature Amy Smilovic of Tibi. From her beginnings in Hong Kong to international fashion retailer, Tibi's unique prints spice up everything from skirts to swimwear.
Hi, I'm Amy Smilovic from Tibi, and I'm on Designing Minds. I always wanted my own business, and I loved art, and I wanted something that could marry those two ideas. And for me, what worked in the beginning was advertising. The first line was really simple because it was just 4 pieces of things that I loved. It was like the perfect fitted dress, the perfect loose dress, the perfect long dress, and the perfect pant. I started off really, really small, and I think that in hindsight was great because I think that's where a lot of people misstep. How the business quickly evolved was right away there was this missing market for contemporary priced products, contemporary fitting products. Especially in Hong Kong, you either had Gucci and Chanel, or you had their versions of the Gap. And I had a local audience, and then the locals started wearing the clothing and taking it back to the United States, taking it back to the UK, and then that's when I started getting calls from stores about carrying the line. You know, every brand has what their niche is, and ours is, it's a very print-driven brand. It's what gives it a special touch, and it's what makes it consistent each season, that it's constantly from my brain, the prints. I really just start with the idea of the print and whether it should be big and bold and clear or whether it should be blurry and more abstract. Swimwear has always kind of been out there, as I've always been wanting to do it, and it was really important that we figure out what were the components going to be that would make our brand different than anyone else's. We decided to reach back into the archives from when I started the collection. I spent a lot of time in Indonesia designing the prints there, and we thought, well, if we always gave it some kind of basis of this Indonesian feeling, whether it's batiks or ikats and things like that. For fall, we were in the mood for things that were a little less defined and a little blurred out around the edges. And when you start to blur out around the edges, it means you're getting moodier and what might be the perfect moody thing. And then all of a sudden, fairy tales kind of fit that element. And then all of a sudden, this Russian fairy tale really fit the element. And then the whole thing just takes off from there. When we were in Europe in September, I bought a fur vest from Anne de Meulemeester. And so you know when you find yourself being really drawn to it that there's something there. And then it felt really right in September, but we were questioning it later on because what's going on with the economy, and it was like, well, is this really the time to be offering like a big fabulous fox jacket or something? So we decided to really dive into it in very little ways with like a scarf or a bag or something that was just a little more accessible. There's so much debate going on about whether or not designers should understand too much on the financial side and whether or not they should just be completely free to be like these ultimate creative artists. You know, honestly, my dad's an artist and he really can be free to be an artist because a canvas only costs so much and paint only costs so much. But when you're dealing with expensive fabrics and production, no matter what, you do need to know the financial side of things. If you talk to anyone in fashion, you're like, should I start a company? Most people will tell you not to start a collection. And really you should do whatever you want to do if you can.